think we got to talk about potentially the game of the year. What was the game of the year for me so far? Because, bro, that Vikings Bills game,
Well,
I
let me
couldn't.
ask before we get started, is this Vikings Bills game crazier than Chiefs Bills last year? Because I honestly think so. I
I
get that
don't
the
think so,
time was
just because the
different.
implications. It was a playoff
Yeah.
game last year, so that's where I would. But also the Chiefs Bills game, they scored like what 20 points in like what 2 minutes?
It was and that 9 second drive by
Yeah,
Mahomes. But the thing that tops it for me is that so you get the Jefferson catch on 4th and 18. I text
yeah.
literally anybody that had any interest in football. I text and I was like, you have to watch this. This is the
Yeah,
greatest catch in the history of
ever.
anybody catching anything in the history of the world. I honestly don't understand the physics of it. I personally believe Jefferson never saw the ball. Like he knew it was overthrown, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna stick my hand up there." And then after that, he never
He
had
just
his
willed the
sight on the
ball.
ball.
He willed
That
it.
physics isn't real. I don't understand how he made that catch. But the thing that tops it off for me is that that catch happens. They get all the way down to the goal line.
They get
Dude,
stopped.
Dalvin Cook has to just catch the ball, and the game is over.
Yep.
He's
And
like,
then
"No, I'm gonna let it bounce. I'm gonna let it bounce off my. I'm gonna let it bounce off my shoulder
if
pads,
he
off my
dropped it,
chest."
just plays it, and then they get shut down on 4th and goal.
Well, then they get bailed out. Then they get
Yeah,
bailed
by
out
the
because the
call.
Bills are offside. And then I'm just sitting there thinking like, wait, but isn't offsides automatic first
Automatic
down?
first down. Yeah, I texted you that. I was like, wait, isn't it a first down?
But I guess because where the ball was, it's only half the distance, so
Yeah,
it's 4th and goal again. And there's no way the referee did not saw what happened. He just called it short. Like
yeah.
there's too many bodies.
You
There's too many
can't.
things but he got the call right even on the review.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
Josh
And
Allen.
then so the Bills are running off the field, and I'm like, all right, that's a pretty cool ending. I you could have asked me, you could have said there's going to be something crazy that happens. I don't think I would have said fumbled snap like within my first 50 guesses.
Yeah,
I
and
would
then
have said
it's
somebody
recovered
ran
by
on the
the defense.
field, a fire started at the 50-yard line, like something random. But for them to fumble the snap and just all you have to do is just recover it in the end zone. Either way, you're
Yeah,
getting the lead, either by the safety or the touchdown. And they recovered it for the touchdown. But then Josh Allen leads them down for the field goal, man. But that Gabe
and
Davis catch, come
it
on,
wasn't a catch. It wasn't a catch,
come
but
on.
that's more on the refs' fault because they didn't review it. But then, like you said, they get the field goal, bro, and then they go into overtime. They get Vikings are right there, 1st and goal again, and next thing you know,
Vikings are going to Vikings.
sack. Did he kick a field goal? And then the Bills, bro, Josh Allen. I understood it, but that more credit to Patrick Peterson because he's seen that play on film and he was like, "Oh, I see this. I know what's happening." And
And
boom,
he
he
played it
ends the game
perfect.
with that pick.
Yeah.
So
He
that
played it perfect. He was trailing the receiver. He was under the route, and Josh Allen still decided to throw it. It was like I guess like because he has that rocket arm, but like he's got to be a little bit smarter. Like if he's already injured and then he's trying to make the tackle on Patrick Peterson in the first interception earlier in
yeah,
the game, and he stays down a little bit, it's like, all right, man. Like you have to understand like a little bit like of the context, like because a field goal. I mean, it would have sucked for fans for all that hype for the game to end in a tie, but like a
yeah,
field goal doesn't kill you in that
yeah.
situation.
You
He was
have
trying
another
to go for the
chance to
death
get
shot,
the ball.
and
So
he was trying to go for the death shot, and I just can't believe that Von Miller got that sack on 3rd down, made it 4th and 18, and Jefferson made that catch. Like it
yeah,
doesn't make sense. It
it,
does not make sense.
it's quite unreal. But man, I just was so shocked because, like how you said, when I saw the catch of 4th 18, I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, this is going." I was like, "Are the Vikings about to like score a touchdown?" Then they get to 1st and goal. But I do want to give credit to the Vikings. That was a huge win. And then Kirk Cousins. I mean, I've joked about you quite some time throughout my life as a football fan, ever since you became the starter. But credit to you. You didn't lose the game for the Vikings when it came to do or die. But man, I gotta ask this, like, bro, are the Bills like, are they just not ready for it?
I don't know if it's not ready for it or if it's just like they're too sure of themselves. Like
Yeah,
they have the quarterback that can bail them out with the running game. He's
because it
always
seemed
trying
like
to run people over.
all of these close games, they just lose.
Yeah, yeah, it's very surprising, and it's like you can't. I mean, I guess maybe if they just had more of a running game, then you could say, okay, they can put more games on ice. But like, I don't even know what it is. Like sometimes they just they just do dumb things at the end. Like that first interception that Patrick Peterson got, it shouldn't like
It was on fourth
Josh
and two.
Allen.
They could have kicked the
Yeah,
field goal.
yeah, Josh Allen should have not made that decision. And I mean, I just want to know how injured he is because we got the information on Monday that it seemed like he might miss a significant amount of the rest of the season.
Yeah,
And then we were told that it would be announced in the press conference. The press conference comes and goes. They said it's more of a day-to-day situation.
yeah.
And he goes out there and he plays the entire game. And I mean,
And he did
he
make a couple of good throws. So
and the velocity still looked there. I mean, I didn't see if he really like tested it downfield too much. I don't think there was too many downfield completions, but coming out of his hand, it still looked as explosive as usual. But this is my biggest question. I asked my dad this after the game: Is the Stephon Diggs for Justin Jefferson, or I mean, the Stephon Diggs for a first round pick trade, like the most beneficial for both teams ever?
yeah, it has to be because bro, the
Because
Bills, they went to the AFC Championship game his first year there. So
yeah,
obviously
Diggs
it went great.
basically
Then
unlocked
they
Allen.
then they lose on a divisional, probably the craziest playoff game we've ever seen. And then you have the Vikings. They get Justin Jefferson after Eagles mess it up. Congratulations. And he has a great rookie year. They didn't have a great record. Nets last year, they were in every game. They just kept losing at the end. And now this year, they're the 2 seed,
Yeah.
right behind the Eagles.
With
Currently,
one loss. They're only lost to
they're
the
8-1.
undefeated Eagles.
The Eagles are 8-0. So I'm like, they're right there, and it has to be the most beneficial. The only thing now will be, can the Vikings keep this momentum? Because I think at this point, with the way the Packers are playing and how open the NFC is, this has to be the year they go for it for the Super Bowl. Because I really
Oh, I
think,
just don't know.
I
With the
just don't
rookie
know.
head coach and Kirk Cousins,
The
oh,
only question I have for them is, when are they going to get a better opportunity? Because I don't know what the Packers are. The Buccaneers, they're so up and down. The Rams are not the Rams. The 49ers can be beat. They can be beat. We saw it yesterday with Herbert when he had no weapons, and they should have went into halftime with 28 points.
yeah,
The Chargers should have had 28 points going to halftime if he had better receivers. So I'm
yeah.
like, the Eagles, I think they could beat them again if they were to rematch, because now they know how the Eagles will play them. The Cowboys, we saw yesterday, we're going to talk about it later. So I feel like this could be the Vikings' opportunity to really say, cash in. We have a Super Bowl, but I don't know with them because,
But
bro,
that was a crazy game. I mean, that's the type of game that you need under your belt to look at the playoffs. And even if you're down, like
we
if you're
won
down
this
in a
game.
playoff game, yeah, think back to the Buffalo game where we were on the road, down by 10 points in the fourth quarter, and we just had to pull it out. And
Yep.
I mean, that's how these runs start. Like you just have a
Yeah.
team that has all the confidence in the world in themselves, and it's just I think we're always just going to fall back on like, do we really trust Kirk Cousins to be able to pull out these games? And I mean, he pulled it out yesterday on the
Um,
road. And like, so if you look at the NFC, if they're going to stay at the number 2 seed, which I think they are, because even if the Packers, go on a run, I think the division is the Vikings to lose at this point in the season, just because of how the Packers started. So it's not like they're going to have to play a road game unless they
yeah.
match up with the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. But even still, like I like the team, and it's finally like coming together, because I think we've said this for years now, because the talent on offense has always been obvious with
Yeah.
Dalvin, and Kirk will put up the stats, so you can't say he's not talented. It's just
And
like
now they
it's
added
either
TJ with
Hawkinson is
Justin
is
Jefferson,
insane
Adam
to
Thielen, Kendrick Osborne is solid. They
yeah.
have the team.